Hey, what's up, everyone? Just testing here. Let's see if this is working. Awesome. Feel like there's a huge delay. Well, welcome for those of you that are joining me here live on this Friday's LinkedIn training for fitness and wellness professionals. I'm not sure if I can see a live chat or not. So if you do have questions, if I can see a live chat or not. All right, cool. I think I'm good here. Let's get into it. I hope everyone's having an awesome week and let's get into our training today. So, let's recap last week just a moment. Um, those of you probably remember we talked a lot about optimizing our profile to really help showcase our expertise, and then also talked about what that marketing needs to look like on LinkedIn. So that was really our overview last week. Give me just a second here. I'm going to make sure that I'm live on Facebook and live on LinkedIn so everyone can see me. Awesome. Cool. We are here. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you for the time and energy today. For some reason, I don't have the share screen function and I need that. So give me just a moment to figure that part out. Can probably do it on Zoom, right? There it is. Awesome. Well, all right. LinkedIn Fireside Chat. Again, thanks for joining me. Let's dive into this. Really designed for fitness and wellness professionals to optimize their LinkedIn, set appointments on LinkedIn, and not feel like a slummy salesperson while doing it. I know for a lot of us in this industry, we don't love sales and marketing. It can be difficult to promote ourselves and we can kind of feel like a pest. I know for me, I've always been interested in sales. I had a client early on in my training career as a fitness professional who was very successful in insurance sales. And I always asked him a lot about business. And it made sense to me that, as a professional, we need to do our due diligence to follow up. And we also need to do our due diligence to make sure that people know how we can help them. Like it's not this weird thing where we're like, hey, let me take your money and not give you anything in return. It's more like this life-changing thing where we're going to help people get healthy, reduce their body fat, get out of back pain, beat stress, all that stuff. Like those are good things that we promote in our industry. So be proud of it. So for those of you that were here last week, this is what we went over. So optimizing your profile, creating your network, and then we talked a little bit about network growth and then content strategy. So if you haven't yet, make sure you go through this and just send me a message on either LinkedIn or Facebook and say that you want the document from today, and I'm happy to share that with you. So again, that was last week's stuff. Go through it again. The training is saved as a featured post on my LinkedIn, so you can find it if you want to see it there. And this week we're going to go over your growth plan. So to me, this is like the fun stuff because everything evolves over time. Like we always want the result right away, and the reality is we have to do the work each step, one step at a time to get to those results. So if you've spent 2, 3, 4 hours kind of tinkering through getting your profile set up, like that's fine. Great job. You're done with that. If you still haven't set your profile up, like best get going on it. And remember, we do have that course available with all the images, about me templates, basically everything you need to set this up. So if you're interested in that course, let me know that as well. I'd be happy to share it with you. And now it's really about your weekly workflow to grow on LinkedIn. So first, let's talk about our mindset. All right. I get a lot of questions about social media when I connect with folks, and a lot of us don't like it because we think it's like self-gloating for one, and we also think it's like all this stuff that we don't want to read or that's stressful or maybe we don't agree with, right? Like political stuff. So we need to fix our mindset around social media first. We need to think about LinkedIn as an opportunity for us to build real relationships. Like, think back to past jobs you had. I'm sure you're connected with some of those people on Facebook. Some of those people might have even became your client because of things that you posted on Facebook or posted on Instagram. LinkedIn is very much the same thing. It's just another channel that is more active by people that are professionals versus the general public, right? It's kind of like, hey, let's take people who are working or active in the workforce, that type of thing. So it does get you a more narrowed audience in a sense of who's on there. And it's really about adding value, staying top of mind, and developing real relationships. I think we need to think about that for any social media platform. Like, that's the purpose. I think about like people that I invest in and courses that I pay for, right? And coaches that I pay for to help me. They're certainly active on social media, but they don't use it as a way to put a barrier between themselves and their clients. They use it as a way to add value to people that know them and maybe have already hired them or are considering to in the future. And we got to think about it the exact same way. We got to think about it as like, even if you're an online coach, you still need to have those real relationships with clients because it's going to keep them, your clients, longer. They're going to see the full results of your services. And that's, in my experience and opinion, how we can think about social media differently to kind of get over any type of hangups we might have that are keeping us stuck from executing on, any type of progress online. Okay. So our mindset for social media and LinkedIn is we're developing real relationships and we're adding value and we're using it as a follow-up tool to stay top of mind. Just wanted to let you know too, spring break. So that's why we're here at the virtual beach. So once we're able to get that mindset right, we need to dial in our activity. So the first thing that needs to be done is your newsletter. We went over that in detail last week on how to set it up, but I don't want you connecting with new people before you're putting value out on the platform. Like, it doesn't serve a purpose. You want the newsletter there as a credibility piece and as a follow-up piece. So make sure it's in place. And as a reminder, for those of you that are unfamiliar, your newsletter is right here on LinkedIn. Set it up, write the article, make sure it's an actual newsletter. So when you go in, hit create newsletter so you can build subscribers and really add value to people. Like, we need to show up giving gifts on LinkedIn. So make sure that newsletter is in place and make sure there's a super signature at the bottom. So make sure people know, hey, whenever you're ready, you can schedule a no cost consultation with me. Whenever you're ready, you can grab my nutrition guide, whatever that is, right? So that's the first thing. Get that newsletter going, first and foremost. Then we want to make sure we connect with 15 new people per day. 15 new people per day, okay? And how that's going to work is you really want to make sure you're narrowing in on your demographic. So I'll give you an example. Like, if let's say you are in Phoenix, Arizona and you're a studio owner, right? So I'm going to go to Phoenix here. And then you can search all kinds of stuff. So again, your major metropolitan city or whatever that town is you live in, and then you can filter it down by people. And then you can go all filters here. And there are so many options. So we could probably spend the better half of a half day talking about different types of criteria you can put in here. But to keep it general, I recommend like pick your best clients. Like, who are they? What do they do? What companies do they work for? And then use those as your search criteria to come over here on LinkedIn. So let's say, your best clients are realtors, right? Cool. Look for more realtors in your area. Even if they're competitors, that's fine. But just try to connect with the same type of people. It's very much so the concept of like niching down, right? When we hear that from mentors, it's like that's really important because then you can show up properly for your who's who. So in my world, I niche down to human resources professionals and fitness professionals. So all my new connections on here ideally are people that work in some type of benefits HR role. That way I can educate them on how I help with the workplace wellness stuff. And then on the other side, fitness professional. So for you, I highly recommend you at least narrow this down to, again, people in your location, and then similar folks like your best clients. You can search them right here on LinkedIn. And then if you are trying to do any type of workplace wellness work, that's where you can look for decision makers. Like if you wanted to do even office managers, right? Like get in with the front desk to make sure that they're willing to bring you into the work site. You can search them here. So you go people, and then you can search it even further by location. So say like for me, Mesa would be a smaller city in the Phoenix area. And then this is all office managers in Mesa. Holy moly, 4,500 people that I could go to here on LinkedIn and say, hey, my name's Drew, would love to offer a complimentary fitness lunch and learn for your people, where we talk all about how to lose weight through 1 hour of exercise per week or something like that, right? You'll notice, so you notice I can't see anymore here. LinkedIn does limit our search results. So because we were so narrow with the job position and the location, we only have a couple folks open here. But I've also used a lot of my search of availability through the platform so far this month. So it's kind of an ebb and flow of your activity and then what LinkedIn will allow you to do. So with those 15 new connections, I recommend the first 10. So LinkedIn allows you to send 10 personal messages. I recommend you send 10 personal messages and let those people know why you want to connect. So if I were looking to promote my fitness services to Penny, I would say, hi, Penny, would love to connect with you here on LinkedIn. We share tips to help office workers reduce stress. And then Penny's going to know why you want to connect with her. Like, oh, he actually has some cool stuff to help me versus just a general connection. So that's how we want to think about those connections. Okay. So those connections are really about getting new people involved in our network that are similar to people that we want to work with and that are in our area, especially if we're doing in-person studio stuff. Now, for new people, another thing you can do is once you connect with them, I really like to do introduction calls. And this was something that I learned from Sandler Sales Training, which is a company that does a bunch of wonderful sales training for business to business development. But the reason you want to do an intro call is like, one, you let the other person gloat for a minute. Hey, great to connect. I would love to learn about your work. They get to share about whatever it is they do, right? And then you can simply let them know what you do. And then you can ask, hey, are you or anyone you know interested in starting a new health and fitness program? Like that's the purpose of these intro calls. So I used to think like it's not worth my time. They're not a qualified buyer. I don't think there's anything better you can do than spend 15 minutes on the phone with a new person, because you're able to, one, learn about their work and then also introduce your services. So I highly recommend those intro calls. Um, Once they connect, so once you say, hey, let's connect, this is the message I recommend you send. And again, if you want this document, just shoot me a message on Facebook or LinkedIn with document and I'll get this to you. So send this message and then make sure, like, this is some framework that you want to do. Make sure you get their best email and their best phone number. And you're going to be the one to send the calendar invite, because like, I'll tell you what, I get more compliments than I would ever imagine, because I'm like, people think I'm organized because I send calendar invites. I'm like, no, I'm sending a calendar invite because a lot of times if people don't have those reminders, they won't show up. Well, they'll forget. So yes, I'm sending it for myself, but I want to make sure that that other person involved is also, very much so aware of the next step. But so get their email, get their information, send them a calendar invite. Then you want to research their profile a bit, right? Like learn a bit about them. This works really well if you're looking for new referral partners. So go, if you wanted to find like physical therapists, orthos, chiropractors, go through that same process here. Find those folks, and then intro calls are awesome because it's like, hey, I need some resources for my clients. I'm here in the community as well. But yeah, learn about their profile. So then when you're on the intro call, you can say, oh, I saw that you went to this school, or, oh, I saw that you're also involved with this group or something like that. Like do some homework there. And then on the call, it's very simple. Ask about them. What do you do? Share what you do, and then ask if anyone's looking for your, like, if anyone in their network would be interested in your help. Another thing you can do is just let them know about your LinkedIn newsletter, your email newsletter, whatever that is. Just get this contact to that next step. That way, they're able to understand how you can help them more. I think that's what happens a lot of times with networking is we meet someone, we have a great conversation, and then there's no follow-up. So we got to do the newsletter thing. We got to do the 3 times a week posting thing that we talked about last week to make sure that we have follow-up and we actually stay top of mind to these people that we're introducing ourselves to. Because like what we're selling, right, with health and fitness, it's tough. Like not everyone's ready to make a change today. So if we can just show up with a smiley face and a helping hand when they're ready to make a change, and when they're ready to take that next step, or when their, significant others ready for a coach, they think of you. That's the purpose of this here. So another thing we want to do in regards to outbound on LinkedIn to gain new business is do some outreach to your current connections, especially if they're past clients. So on LinkedIn, you can go in here, go to your profile, and go to your connections. And then these are your current connections. You can search them with filters just like we did on the new person, but so first is your connection, second is someone that's connected to you, and then third is like they might be connected to a connection that's connected to you. So your current connections, we want to do the first ones, okay? And I think it's so solid for client reactivation. So think about, maybe you used to work at a gym 10 years ago and you were active on LinkedIn connecting with people. And now you live somewhere else, but you have an online coaching business. Ah, what a cool thing to introduce to those folks, right? So I recommend with past client activation or people that would be meaningful for you to build a relationship with, send them a message. Hey, glad we're connected. How are you? We should catch up. Like simple as that. And then on that catch up call, like it's not, hey, let me sell you my services. It's like, hey, person that I actually know and care about, how are you doing? What's been new? Where are you working out now? Give them an update on your stuff. And then maybe come to a way that you all can collaborate and help each other, right? So we want to look at that. Another thing we can do is with current clients, asking them to share your lead magnet or newsletter with their network. Like that's huge. I think in itself, like just being connected to your current clients and having them see your stuff on LinkedIn and engage on your stuff on LinkedIn is a home run win for you to get, similar type of eyes on your stuff, people that they work with, people that they're also connected with, that type of thing. So yeah, that's really the key elements here is don't start adding a bunch of people until you have this newsletter in place so that you're out adding value on the platform in advance. Connect with 15 new people per day, not just at random, but specific based on similar to your clients or based on referral partners. Again, I do workplace wellness and help fitness professionals with LinkedIn. So those are the 2 people I connect with. Your world's probably different than mine. So narrow that down a bit. And if you have questions on that search feature, definitely shoot me a message on Facebook here or on LinkedIn and I'll help you out. And then direct outreach to current connections with our intro call framework. We're going to be the leader and make sure we send a calendar invite. We're making the phone call. All that stuff I think is important. And then we got our direct outreach to current connections. We talked about that. Cool. So now let's talk about like putting this all together in your work week. I recommend scheduling 30 to 45 minutes per day to get business on LinkedIn. 30 to 45 minutes per day. For some of you, it might seem like, oh my gosh, where am I gonna fit that in? And for some of you, you might think, oh my gosh, I need 2 hours to do all this stuff, right? Well, let's unpack it a bit. If you need to do 15 new connections per day, it might take you 10 minutes to get the right search. And then it might take you even 1 minute each to go to the profile and send the new connection request, right? 25 minutes, boom, done. 5 outbound messages per day. Well, you got your scripts up here. So all you got to do is out of those 15 new connections, when 5 accept, go send them the message or look at your current clients, right? That won't take you more than 30 minutes. 3 posts per week. You're likely already doing it on other platforms, so it shouldn't take you more than 30 to 45 minutes to curate 3 posts. If you need like image templates or anything like that, let me know. But back up here is that framework. So use this framework, and I think 2-3 posts you should easily be able to knock out in 45 minutes. Weekly newsletter, depending on how seasoned you are with writing, it could take you a little bit longer, but I think once you get the hang of it, 30, 45 minutes, no problem. And then responding to engagement. So this could literally be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Take the weekend off, you're good to go. It's easy to get like lost on social media though, right? I wrote a newsletter today talking about people think it's a time suck, and it certainly is a time suck, especially if you don't have a strategic plan when you're going on there. I'm guilty of it for sure. Like I actually enjoy social media because for me, it's almost like my news. I want to hear what my network's up to way more than I care what CNN's doing. Like that's just me personally. But like, yeah, make it work for you. Fit it in your calendar, 30 to 45 minutes per day. If it's new to you, maybe it's like the first thing you do in the morning. Like I'm sure you've heard that eat the frog concept, or do the toughest task first. Like get this stuff done at the start of the day, and you'll be able to reap the benefits later, right? And obviously, one could argue and say, well, you got to respond to those messages. It's like, okay, well, only make it take you 30 minutes, and then later in the day you can spend the other 15 to get back to all that activity. So this is the framework of our training today. You all like not a whole bunch of magic stuff, but some simple tactics that you can install in your business to be consistent with marketing on LinkedIn. Okay. Again, implement this stuff. I want to make sure that these trainings are very step by step, so it's not throwing it all at you at once. I think so far last week was solid on getting the profile set up and getting your network going. And this week really talked about adding value to that network, expanding that network, and then setting some appointments with that network. Okay. So this is plenty for now. Please do go through this line by line, get these things going. If you get stuck, do know that we have that course that can help you out. The LinkedIn Client Surge. It's literally step by step with templates and scripts on how to do all this stuff. So happy to help there. Or if you just want the platform set up and to kind of run without you doing the work, happy to do that too. Oh, awesome. Looks like we have some questions coming in. Yeah, so Kelsey wants a document. I'll get that to you, Kelsey. And Jennifer says, yeah, time to get back to the basics and focus on creating value. Exactly. One thing that my mentor says a lot is like coach people until they pay you to coach them. And I really believe that. Like that's how I'm thinking about delivering these trainings for you all. And I think that's how as professionals we can think about adding value to our network. So work through this stuff. Again, thank you all for your time and attention. And the next iteration of the training is going to be on getting people from LinkedIn to your email list, because I don't think any of us should rely on just one platform. Even though like I picked this as the best platform, we definitely want to make sure we're getting people's contact information and giving them value in exchange, right? So any other questions, please drop them here. I'm happy to answer them, or you can send me a message and I'll get back to you. But thank you for being here. I'll get you the document that want it, and put this stuff into place. And again, bite-sized pieces, 30 to 45 minutes per day. Use these scripts, customize them for your target market, and yeah, keep it going. So thanks again for being here. I'll make sure that this recording gets posted up on both LinkedIn and Facebook. And yeah, I'm here to help. Again, thanks for your time and attention today. Have a good rest of your Friday.